Hi guys, welcome to Creatively Homemade. My name is Jennifer and I love to share creative paper crafting projects with you. So today I have another fun Thanksgiving project. Today we're going to be making Thanksgiving napkin rings. Isn't that just cute? It has a little 3D pumpkin on it and it says gather together and give thanks. It's so easy to put together and it'll add a nice touch to your Thanksgiving table setting. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the supplies you're going to need for this project. You're going to need the Painted Harvest stamp set and a black ink pad. You're going to need the Stitched Shapes die set. This die set has circles, ovals, and squares, but we're going to be using the circles to make that 3D pumpkin. You'll need a couple of paper punches. You're going to need the leaf punch. And you're going to need the classic label. This is going to be used to make the stem. You're going to need some cardstock. I am using pumpkin pie, crumb cake, old olive, and soft suede. And then you're going to need something to go as an accent on the band. You can either use burlap ribbon, as I did in my first example, or you can use Country Lane Designer Series paper. This has got some really pretty rustic patterns in it that would work well for Thanksgiving. There's the back sides. Nice rich colors. So I will show you an example made with this paper as well. Let's get started making that band. You're going to need a strip of crumb cake cardstock that is 8.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So put the long edge at the top of your scoreboard and you're going to score it at 2.5 inches and 6 inches. And then you're going to be able to fold that to go around your napkin. Okay, while I have that band piece out, let's go ahead and do our stamping. We're going to be using the Gather Together and Give Thanks stamp from the Painted Harvest stamp set. So I already have that mounted on a clear black, and I'm just using black ink. Now, of course, if you'd like to make it a little bit prettier, you could use Versamark to ink this up and then emboss it, heat emboss it. Gold or silver would be really pretty. So then you're just going to stamp that right in the center of that center panel, down at the bottom. So it's going to look like that. Okay, next we're going to do some die cutting. So I've pulled out my big shot. You are going to use that layering or Stitched Shapes die set. I am using the circle that is the second smallest. It is 1 7/8 inch in diameter. You're going to need 6 of these total. I've already got 5 of them cut, and I will go ahead and cut that last one now. Okay, and that's what it's going to look like cut. It has that nice stitching around the edge. It'll just give a nice bit of dimension to your pumpkin. So go ahead and cut 6. I'm going to put my die cut machine away and I will be back to finish the project. The next thing we're going to be doing is to make some accents for the pumpkins with our paper punches. So I have a scrap here of old olive and I'm going to cut out that leaf. You'll need 1 leaf for every napkin ring that you're going to be making. And then I'm going to use the classic label punch on a scrap of soft suede, and that's going to be used for the stem. Actually, you can cut this in half and use it for 2 pumpkin napkin rings. So now we're ready to start assembling our pumpkins. To make things a little bit easier, I recommend scoring down the middle of each of these circles. That'll just make it easier to put together later. If you don't have a scoreboard, just score it in half. Eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact. So you're going to score each one and then fold it in half. And then just repeat that for 4 more of those pieces. So you're going to want 5 total that are scored, and you're going to leave 1 as is for the base. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of those off camera, and I will be right back. After you have your pumpkin pieces all folded, you can start putting this together. So you want the nice there are two different sides to the die cut, and you can just kind of look at it and see which is the more finished side. So you want that facing outward. So turn that over and put adhesive on one half. And snail works perfectly fine for this. Later on, we're going to be using some tear and tape adhesive to make things, one of the steps you want the adhesive to be a little bit stronger, but just for putting the pumpkin together, it's fine just to use the snail. So there's two circles put together. Now you're just going to fold that over, add adhesive here, and stick another one down, and you're going to continue this for all 5 of those pieces. So I'm just going to keep working on that. And using 5 circles on this is going to give you a nice full pumpkin. You just want to make sure it's lined up well before you press it down. Okay. And I'm ready for the last one. Okay, there we go. And as you see, as you fan it out, it's a nice 3D pumpkin. So now that we have our pumpkin shape formed, we're going to add the stem and the leaf. Like I said, you want to cut this classic label in half, and you'll be able to use that, the remainder, for another pumpkin napkin ring if you desire. So you're going to have a little piece like that. This pointed piece you want to go down because you want a straight edge on the top of your pumpkin. So just put adhesive on the bottom pointy tip and then place it so maybe a 1/4 inch is sticking above your pumpkin top. So it's going to look like that. And then add a little bit of adhesive to the bottom stem on the leaf and press it into place. Just like that. And then now we are ready to use that backing. So just put adhesive all over that and press that into place. That's going to help hold those punch shapes in place so they don't fall off. And there is the finished pumpkin ready to add to your napkin ring. So now we're ready to start putting this together. I like to do it right around my napkin. Different napkins have different thickness, so it's probably just easier to use the napkins that you're going to be using for Thanksgiving dinner than to try to make up the band and then shove the napkin down into it. Just go ahead and put it around as you're assembling. So we are going to add some tear tape adhesive. That's a little bit stronger than your snail adhesive, and that will handle being able to take that napkin out and put it back in. So I recommend 2 strips of this. You just want to see where that's going to hit. And put another one down. And then if you have a paper piercing tool or some scissors, that'll make quick work of getting that adhesive backing off of that tear and tape adhesive. So you can pull that up. And then just fold it over and press it in place. You don't want it to be super tight, especially if you're going to be putting some utensils down in there. You want a little room. Next, we're going to put some ribbon around it. So again, I'm going to use the tear and tape adhesive. This burlap ribbon won't stick down very well with just snail, so go ahead and use the tear and tape for that as well. You're going to need maybe a 1/2 inch piece. And stick it right, maybe just a little bit above center. Pull that backing off, and then press your ribbon into place. Run it around the front, and then cut it to join. Then use another piece of tear and tape adhesive just to join at that seam. flip that over and you can go ahead and put your pumpkin down. So again, I recommend the tear and tape adhesive on the back of this. Maybe 3 strips. You just want to make sure this does not come up. Then pull that backing off. Okay. And press that down right above that gather together and give thanks sentiment. And that's all there is to it. You're finished. Now here's one that I made with designer series paper from that Country Lane pack. So I thought that one looked cute too. It just adds a little bit more color and the pumpkin design coordinates perfectly. So be sure to leave me a comment below and let me know whether you preferred the one with the burlap ribbon or the one with the designer series paper. So I hope you've enjoyed this video teaching you how to make a quick and easy napkin ring for Thanksgiving. If you missed any of those instructions or any of the measurements, I have those up in a blog post and I will link that down in the description box below so you can click over and print up those instructions. If you need any of the supplies that I featured in this video, including the Painted Harvest stamp set or the Stitch Shapes die set, I have the links down in the description box below that go directly to my Stampin' Up store. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I would love to work with you and would be so appreciative of your order. If you would like to see more of my videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you want to be updated when I post something new, be sure to click that little bell button next to the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy crafting!